once I get out here, that's when you realize I am not here to repo a car. I look like I'm here to take something. I'm not going to take nothing. And then the rest of you, I'm looking at the stares on people at stores, everywhere I go. I know what you guys are thinking. You're looking at me going, that is possibly the pointiest head I've ever seen on a human being. Right? Did somebody just said it is? Look, did you hear that? Look at the way she's staring at me. She's been looking at me this whole time like I'm the first light bulb in an Amish community. She's just... I almost can't look directly at it. Look at it. He's almost a unicorn, look. He looks like that fat pencil we used in kindergarten. Remember that? It's alien looking. I look like I should be holding a flute in the cantina scene from Star Wars, don't I? It's not a stunt head. This is the real thing. This is my real head. It's not attractive, I know. It's pointy at the top. It's flat on the sides. I actually have a split that runs up the back of my head. When I was born, the doctors thought I was coming out breech. I like to go to the beach, submerge to my eyebrows, and then just glide up on people. People lose their minds during Shark Week. I told my pastor about that. He's like, that's not right. I'm like, you bring people to heaven your way, I'll bring them mine. We get into Mexico. If you're familiar with the trek, we get off the boat. We had lunch at a little place called Carlos and Charlie's right off the pier. Afterwards, we're walking down the sidewalk, and there's a lady selling blankets out on the sidewalk. And I reach up, and I touch the blankets. She darts out of the store, this tall. She says, aren't those beautiful? I said, yeah, they are. She said, my family's been making these blankets for over 100 years. I said, really? She goes, yeah, we shear the sheep, we dye the wool, we weave it on a loom. 100 years we've done that. I said, that is amazing. She said, the craftsmanship, right? I said, no, the fact I had to come all the way to Mexico to find a Mexican who would speak English. It's like I didn't have to dial 2 or nothing. It just rolled straight through. A while back, they said there was a drive-by shooting in Miami. Police were looking for 2 armed Cubans. 2 armed Cubans. That's going to be a tough hunt, isn't it? You know why? They're all 2 armed Cubans. You know where the 1 armed Cubans are? 2 miles off the coast of Cuba, swimming in a circle. It takes 2 arms to pump up the inner tube. They're not here. Where's the Obama supporters at? Where you guys at? Round of applause. I usually love to ask that question just to see all the white people go. I had no idea who Obama was in the beginning. I'm not going to bash him. I had no idea who he was in the beginning. I didn't know enough about American government. I found out I didn't know enough about our American government to help my 6th grade son with his civics homework. So I got a little bit concerned about that. I asked a buddy what he did. He says, you know, there's 2 books you need to read. You need to read a book on George Washington and a book on Thomas Jefferson. I'm lazy. I saved some time. I read a book on George Jefferson. All I learned was this country crazy, Wheezy. That's all I learned. I had no idea who he was, though. So at the time, Senator Obama, the schools were pushing him. They thought he was the best man for education. So they were telling the kids about him. The kids were coming home and telling me. The only thing that my kids, I mean, they were very small at the time. The only thing they could remember and could relate to with him is that the man was half white. Now, that's not enough to vote for the man or not vote for the man on, so I figured I'd pay attention. I watched him all the way up to the election. I watched him as he went up and he gave his speech. He turned around to walk off the stage arm in arm with his wife, Michelle. He turns to go give her a high five. She went to high five her, and he missed. I'm like, holy crap, he is half white. There was no soul in that man. Like, he almost hit her in the face. It was ugly. Literally, half of him was white. I can be profiled. Let me give you a great example. Let's say I'm hanging out with this table right here, hanging out with you guys right here. Everybody in the front row. We're just hanging out right here at the comedy club, having a good time. And somebody farts. Go ahead, handsome. Who's getting blamed for that? The fat guy, right? The biggest guy in the room is always going to get blamed for the farts, guaranteed. I was on an elevator a while back with like 6 other people, 6 small people. Somebody drops one of those silent but deadly numbers. Somebody drops my elevator, you have no hope of escape either, do you? You can lay on the floor, hide in all four corners. That thing's like Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. I noticed everybody in the elevator slid to the opposite side from me. Yeah, looking at me like I was the one that did it. You know what I did, but you know how rude for them to assume.
Wrong.
We were in Tennessee. We found one right across the street from LensCrafters. Right? Don't get ahead of me. We know the slogan at LensCrafters. They say we'll have your glasses done in about an hour, right? Strip club had a sign up said, "Wait that hour for your glasses here." Which is the same thing as saying, "Hey, our girls are hot as long as you're still blind." Probably the worst one we went to was in Ocala, Florida. Some of you have been to Ocala. If you've never been to Ocala, it's almost like a little chunk of Kentucky broke off and floated into Florida, right? Backwards. It's really backwards. We walk in. The name of they had a big neon sign out front said "Live Nude Dancers." Like, that's all you got going for you? They're alive? This is rough. Name of the place was Body Shots. And it was appropriately named, too, because all the girls looked like they had bullet wounds and stuff in them, right? Really rough place. Let me tell you something. First dancer walks up to me. You can't make up something so stupid. She walks up and she goes, "Hi, my name's Contagious." They wouldn't give me my money back. If you've ever been in a strip club, you know how the ladies do it. She came up to me, she took my hand and puts my hand on her leg, tries to pull my hand up through her inner thigh. She goes, "Do you want to go in the back room with me?" I'm like, "Why? Is that where I can wash my hands?" It's odd. It was odd. I'd never seen a stripper with a mullet before. That was odd. Figured they could at least do a beer right. I go up to order a beer. They gave me a beer in an 8-ounce can. So they gave me an 8-ounce can of beer. Bartender puts it up there and says, "Can I get you anything else?" "Yeah, how about a sippy cup to drink that out of?" "Maybe some juicy juice to chase it. You got some of that?" I'm sitting there drinking 8 ounces of beer out of a little tiny can. I look up, there's a big sign behind the bar that says "Kegs to go." You have to advertise that to go part. I want to see the monsters ordering a keg for here. "What do you have, sir?" "Keg." "What else?" "A straw." I want to look like this wuss over here drinking 8 ounces of beer out of a sippy cup. We were at a strip joint in Kentucky. That's the end of the story. We were at a strip joint in Kentucky. Look, the boob to teeth ratio was way off. Per person. When one woman has way more boobs than she does teeth, and I mean way more, that's going to be a problem. One of my favorite stories was there's a mountain in Tennessee where they found shark's teeth at the top of the mountain. Did anybody else see this story? So ridiculous. It was so funny. They found shark's teeth at the top of Clinch Mountain in Tennessee. They said that it was a Bible-based story. They said the earth was flooded at one point. Sharks inhabited the area, and they left their teeth behind. Scientists were baffled. And I'm like, "Why? Because you found some teeth in Tennessee?" They're all over up there. You just got to kick up some dirt to find some. I got to go back home to Tennessee and do some shows. I was working with a very funny comic by the name of James Vernon. Now, he was a funny man. He wouldn't pull from the punch. If he thought something was funny, he'd go for it, whether it was appropriate or not. We're flying through Macon, Georgia, 3 o'clock in the morning. Cop pulls us over. Says, "What are you boys doing flying through my state so fast for?" And James squares up to the cop. I have no idea. He goes, "We just hauling pecans." I'm like, "What? That's not even clever, James. You're going to get us in trouble. What are you doing?" Cop gets pissed. He goes, "Pecans?" He says, "I don't see anything in the back of that truck but a bunch of old beer cans." He said, "They used to be beer cans. Now they're pecans. Some of you much quicker than others." She's a little confused. You can't make pies with those pecans. You know that, right? Okay. All right. All right. I'll leave you with this. Celebrating something myself. 13 years after vasectomy. How many people went through that? Did I see a woman raise her hand? Oh, you were pointing at him. I'm like, ma'am, that wasn't a vasectomy. Your doctor cut way too close to the bone. I did, but I didn't go to that doctor you guys have on the billboard all over town. What is that? You didn't go to that billboard doctor, did you? Oh my God, that's the creepiest thing. Have you guys seen this billboard? It's a weird, big, huge billboard. Runs all the way from Miami to Huntsville, Alabama. That means this dude will travel with a knife to cut your package, gentlemen. It is vastweb.com, and there's a couple things about the sign that bother me. Number one, the top of the sign says low cost, no cost. Don't you think there's some things you want to pay for? Last thing you want is a pissed off doctor hovering over your package with a knife, mad because he's not getting paid. Right? And then down at the bottom of the sign it says no needle or scalpel required. What the hell's he using, his teeth? The doctor goes, all right, sir, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to numb it. Numb, 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 numb. That's the most ridiculous thing I do all night, right there. Just pure stupidity, right there. I was home in Tennessee when I decided to have it done. I walk in, and the nurse tells me, she goes, sir, what we need you to do is we need you to go into that room down at the end of the hall. Take off all your clothes, sit on the table, wait for the doctor. I did, and everybody in the cafeteria was pissed. Nobody wanted me sitting on their table. Moved me to the right room. The doctor comes in. He said, the first thing that we have to do is we have to shave around your private area. How many guys here shave in the private area? We already know you do. We already know. You probably did it before the show. Let me tell you something, guys. You start cleaning up down there, your woman will spend more time down there. Not kidding you, dude. It's like I shaved paradise, put up a parking lot. But let me tell you something. I didn't shave down there. You know, you're nodding. You know. I didn't shave before the vasectomy, but I've been doing it like every couple weeks since. Right? Because you ever notice how much bigger a tree looks when you weed eat around it? You know what I'm talking about. If you're a parent, though, you barely have enough time to go to the bathroom and do what you have to do. Kids will follow you into the bathroom, right? I've got 5 kids. There's no privacy. I went in the bathroom the other day, nobody followed me in. I'm like, now's my opportunity. I went ahead, dropped trowel, pulled out the razor, I started to shave. Halfway through the job, door flies open, right? In comes a manager from Red Lobster. He was pissed. I am not allowed back at Red Lobster anymore. Hey guys, that's my time, and I want to thank you for yours.
That's Bull. Just Bull.
anymore.